Hello everybody! This is an Evolve GT. So I know that I would have loved a up-to-date guide on exactly how do you take off the wheels and how do you put the other ones on. Whether that be from AT to street or that be from street to AT. Since I couldn't find any, well, I might as well make one. So what we got here is the Evolve GT Bamboo. It does have the AT wheels on. We're gonna put on some street wheels. You can probably see these are dirty, very dirty. That's because I bought this board as a street version, so I have actually been riding on these. Now, however, I've been riding on the AT wheels for a little while and I want to switch back to the street ones. First things first, we are gonna need some tools. Good thing about Evolve is they include all the tools that you need. So, in order to make this conversion, in order to put on street wheels or AT wheels, you're gonna need the following. You're gonna need the tool, the skate tool that Evolve includes. That also includes a little Allen key with a little screwdriver head on the other side. You're gonna need, all of this is gonna be included when you buy the board. So you have this. Obviously, you're gonna need your 4 wheels and belts. You're gonna need the drives, and you're gonna need, well, you're not gonna need them, but you do have belt covers. Normally when you buy the board with a conversion kit, or you buy the conversion kit separately, you get a little bag full of nuts and washers and stuff like that. I'm gonna turn the board. We are going to take the tool. I'm gonna start with the front wheels. These are the easiest because, well, they don't have any motors, they don't have any drives on them, so the first thing that's gonna come off is a little bolt. There is also gonna be a little washer. Then the wheel comes off, simple as that. The wheels are not gonna have the bearings in them when you get them in the conversion kit. The bearings are these little things that go in here. There's one on this side, there's one on the other side. That's what makes the whole thing turn. What you need to know about this is there's a bearing here. In the middle there is a little metal tube. I'm gonna try and see if I can find a picture and throw that in here. I don't have any spares and all of mine is already in the wheels, but it's a little metal tube thing. You can actually you might be able to see that there's something in there. One bearing in, other side, that metal tube, and then another bearing. That's it, the wheel is done. That's everything you need to do. The only other thing you need to do is, if you have the street version and you need to mount the AT wheels, they're gonna come deflated. There's not gonna be any air in them, so you need to inflate them, obviously. I think Evolve recommends 30 PSI. These go up to about 50. I think it says 50 on them. Yeah, 50 PSI. I have them at about 40, something like that, but you know, you can just... Well, in terms of fitting the wheel, once you have the bearings and a little metal tube thing in there, it's easy peasy. Just plug on the wheel, put on the washer we took off before, the nut, and now when it comes to how tight these goes, don't over tighten them. You don't need to over tighten them. See, now I just felt the first little bit of resistance there. I just give it a slight turn like that, that's it, done. And now, as you can see, the wheel is on and it's spinning beautifully. But let's do the same for the other front wheel. That's it, wheels on. Okay, so now we come to the more interesting part. We start out exactly as before. There's gonna be a little bolt on there, same thing. We keep that aside. There's gonna be a little washer on here as well. A little washer, wheel goes aside. There's a little washer right after the wheel. All these washers are identical except for the next one. What I'm gonna do now, I've removed the washer, I'm gonna remove the belt cover. You need to use the smallest Allen key that comes with the board. Don't drop the screw, that's a bad idea. The belt cover comes right off. Now the whole thing just comes off. So you can take this entire thing off. Here you have the drive and the belt. As you can probably see, there's difference in the belt size, and obviously the drives are different. And then down here there's gonna be a second or third. We have a third washer. This one is gonna be silver and it's bigger. So the next thing that we are gonna do is we're gonna put on this big washer again that goes down like so, all the way down to the bottom here. When you get the drives out of the box, there is a little bearing in there as well. If I remember correctly, you have to put those in yourself. Yes, you do, they come separately. You just push them in, no big deal. You take the belt, the new smaller belt here, put that on. put it down like so. What you want to do now is we want to adjust the engine position so that it'll fit with this new belt, because right now we can't get over it because the other belts for the AT they're bigger, so we need to adjust the engine position. That's when you're going to use the second Allen key. Loosen the engine screws here, the motor screws. These can be a little tight. There's Loctite in here. Loctite? Alright. Now the engine is loose, as you can probably see. You can move it back and forth. So what you do is you take the belt, push the engine in, so the belt fits now. We want to tighten this. Put your finger on the engine plate and just with your thumb push the engine out or push the motor out until this is pretty tight. Not too tight, but pretty tight. You tighten these screws again. Important thing is here, don't over tighten these. They don't need a lot, they just need, I basically say if you can use the long end of the Allen key and only push on this little bit up here, then you're probably not going to over tighten them because you don't have a lot of leverage. Then that's it. Now the drive is on, the belt is on, so a washer goes down there, a wheel goes on, like so, a new washer, and a bolt. Just a skate tool, tighten this thing down. All right, last wheel. Okay, let's give it a little spin to see if the belt cover or the belt tensions are on the spot. What we ideally want here is when we spin up the wheels, what we ideally want is these two to come to a stop at the same time. They're not going to be exactly at the same time. We want something as close as possible. That's pretty much on the money. Look at that. Stop exactly at the same time. That's lucky. I bet you are already right now doing this while you're watching this. Maybe you put me on pause. Maybe you're already like, I got it. I don't need that guy. Now you can mount the belt covers. I'm gonna do it just for completions, just to make this a complete guy or whatever. So while I am putting this on, I want to stress that if you're watching this and you have yourself an Evolve board or you're thinking about buying one, if you have any questions about, well, anything really, the board, any questions about the board in general, or any questions about how to do this, if there's something I might have left out or you run into a problem, leave a comment down below. You're done! So there we are. That's really all there is to it. If you have any questions about how to do this, if there was something I didn't cover, you had a question I didn't answer here, you're more than welcome to leave a comment. I'll promise you I'll get back to it. I might very well do a video on simply the other way around. How do you go from the street wheels to the AT wheels? If I do that, then I'm gonna link that down in the description of this one. I'm probably also gonna put an annotation right about here. I hope this was helpful. Okay,